Hey, it's Saturday. We're going to finish up our week of follow-throughs. Today, I'm Pastor Fred Hoover from Christ Memorial in Malvern, PA, with another video follow-through, and we are going to talk again about love. We did, I think last week, we talked about God's version of love, and I think this is something that we want to talk about often because our world needs it more than anything. And again, we have a picture of love from 1 Corinthians chapter 13. This is that famous love chapter. If you've been to a wedding at a church, you've probably heard this passage. And it's a description of God's love, and it's kind of meant for us to see, okay, this is how God loves us. And so if we're searching, and I think a lot of us maybe don't give it enough thought, like how should I love the people? What in my life, like what should that look like? And he says, well, if you're asking, in verse 4 of 1 Corinthians 13, he says, well, love is patient, for starters, and it's kind. So again, I think we talked about this a couple of days ago, like God is incredibly patient with us. Even when we fail, even when we mess up, He loves us. He sent Jesus to die for us, showing us the ultimate in kindness. Right, seeing what's really wrong in our hearts and seeing what we're really struggling with, and not just doing a surface type of Band-Aid, but going deep into our souls and bringing us true healing and true life. And he says, love doesn't envy or boast. And this is one that I think we all kind of struggle with, because sometimes it's hard when that person who maybe you have a difficult time with, maybe they got something that you want, and you think you should have it. He says, love's excited about the good fortune of others. And here's why, because we trust that God's got us covered, that He's given us more than we could possibly ever need or want, right? So boasting, right? Love doesn't boast, because what boasting does is it destroys the other person. Now it lifts you up, but it squashes everyone else because they have to get smaller so that I can get bigger. And he says, no, that's not what love is all about. Love's the opposite. Love says, you know what? I'm going to put my needs aside because I know God loves me and He's going to take care of my needs. So I'm going to be too busy loving people to boast. He says it's not arrogant or rude. It's not arrogant. It's not fixed on itself. It trusts in God, right? And Jesus came with that laser focus to save us. He had every right to be, right, to show Himself as the most powerful thing in the world, in history, and He is, and He was, and He always will be. But when He came here to die for us, He met arrogance head on. And instead of trying to one-up it and to try to, be more arrogant, He said, "No, I'm gonna take the pain of the world, the sin of the world on me." And that's what He did. And He suffered and He died to show us what love looks like, and to give us hope for our relationships, hope for all those times where we're like going, how do I love? How do I love that person? How do I take care of that person? Look at 1 Corinthians 13. In fact, look at the whole chapter. This is just one verse. But today, look at all of that. It's so powerful in terms of what love is. Love says, how can I make a difference in the other person's life, not mine? And that's God's perspective, and that's God's mission, to save us and to love us. And He invites us today and every day to join Him on that mission. All right? So, again, love others with all you've got, knowing that God has loved you with a love that is eternal and a love that never ends. Have a great weekend, and we'll see you on Sunday for another series that we're going to start. All right? Take care. We'll see you then.